So Lian Li's SL Infinity Unifans are now wireless and they're available from today in both black and white. There's standard and reverse blade options, and you can get them in a triple pack which comes with the wireless controller for $104.99, or you can get the single fans for $31.99, and they will work with the wireless controllers from the other Lian Li accessories, but if you don't have a wireless controller you can pick one up for $17.99. So just before we take a look at the fans, I want to compare the specs of the standard versus the reverse blade fans. Now both of these fans are now 28mm thick, similar to Lian Li's newer Unifans. Now in terms of the max speed, the standard fans will go a little bit faster, 2300 revs per minute compared to 22 with the reverse blade fans. There is, however, a big difference in static pressure, and this will be important if you're planning on putting these on a radiator. The standard fans, it's 3.4mm of water compared to 2.85 with the reverse blade fans. And the reverse blade fans are a little bit noisier, 31 decibels compared to 29.2 decibels with the standard fans. So what I want to do now is show you how to set up the Lian Li Unifans. I'll point out all their features as we go. So I've opened a triple pack of reverse blade fans, and the process for joining these is exactly the same as any other Lian Li Unifans. You're simply going to line them up at the side and push down to lock them into place. So there we go, that's all three fans connected up. Again, to improve compatibility at the end, these additional connectors are removable. Simply twist them anti-clockwise, and then they're going to be able to pull them off, and that will improve your compatibility for mounting the fans, particularly on a radiator. The other side of the fans is where you're going to connect your wireless receiver, so it's just a matter of lining it up, and there's a little arrow at the top here which indicates that you're going to have to push up to lock this into place. Now we've got our cable coming down the way. If we'd rather have this cable coming out the top, it is possible to change it. You simply just need to pull this little cover off. We'll just free it up. And you can see then it is possible to move this cable. So we just need to free it up here. We can bring it up to the top, twist it in through this little gap here. That's going to hold the cable facing up the way. And then we just need to clip the little cover back into place. So as I mentioned, this is the wireless receiver. It's going to receive the signal from the controller, adjusting your fan speed and the lighting effects on the fan. So all this device is going to need is power. So taking a look at it from the other side of this cable, coming from it, we've got these two 4-pin PWM connectors, and these will power this wireless receiver, but also power the fans. And with some of Lian Li's previous Unifans, they used to run into problems if they weren't getting enough power. For example, they would just be a flashing, blinking white light, or the fans would start and stop and show random colors. And Lian Li have tried to solve this problem. So the first thing is this PWM cable should be auto-detected by your motherboard's BIOS and run in PWM mode, so it will get a full 12 volts. Obviously, if it's detected in voltage mode, it mightn't be providing enough power to the fans. The other way that Lian Li have tried to solve this potential power issue is there's the additional 4-pin PWM connector, and Lian Li say you should use this if you're using 2 or more Unifans in a group. And by plugging both these in, you're going to increase the amount of power available to your fans and hopefully avoid any of these issues. So to power the fans, all you need to do is plug these cables into PWM headers on your motherboard. Or if you get the triple pack of fans, you will get this 3 PWM cables to SATA power cable. So all you need to do is plug this into a SATA connector coming from your power supply, and then you'll be able to plug the PWM cables into here, and this will mean that the fans are definitely getting enough power. And again, you don't need to worry about the fan speeds because you're going to be controlling these using Lian Li's L-Connect and not the signal from your motherboard. You're literally just using these connectors for power. So this brings us on to our wireless controller. So this will come with a triple pack of the Unifans. It is also compatible with Lian Li's previous wireless controllers from their streamer cables or other wireless Unifans. So if you've got one of the wireless controllers with these, you don't need to pick up an additional one, and you're going to be able to use your original wireless controller to control up to 10 groups of devices. So all you're going to simply do is remove the connection from here. We've got a standard USB Type A connector, and you can simply plug this into the back of your motherboard. If you don't want this large bulky adapter sticking out the back of your motherboard, if we take a look in from the side, there's another connector, so you do have another option. We can take this cable which comes with the controller and we'll plug it into the adapter. And taking a look, there's 2 cables which come from it. The first is a 4-pin PWM cable, and literally all this does is provide power to the controller. The second one is a USB cable, and we're going to plug this into a USB 2.0 header on our motherboard. And that's going to allow this wireless controller to communicate with the motherboard. So the big advantage of using the cable is you're not going to have this sticking out the back of your PC. You can leave it tucked away at the back. Downside is it's going to take up a USB 2.0 header on your motherboard. And the last thing that comes in the triple pack of fans is the screws. So you might be wondering about how you're going to screw the fans in. You've got little rubber pads here that remove, and these are on both sides of the fan. So once you've screwed your fans in, you can simply cover the little rubber pads over to hide the screws. So a nice improvement Lian and Lee have made with these new wireless fans is we now have 3 lighting zones in them. So the first zone is the fan blades themselves and the area around the central hub. Our second lighting zone is this bar here, and you can see it travels all the way along the fans at the top and at the bottom. And this second lighting zone continues around the outside of the infinity mirror on each fan. And the nice improvement that we've got is we've got 2 different lighting zones in this infinity mirror. There's also a separate one in the center of each of the fans, and you're able to control all 3 of the lighting zones independently. And if we take a look at the back of the fans, obviously this doesn't look as good at the front, so make sure you buy reverse blade fans if you want to have your fans set to intake. So I opened up a single pack just to show you what comes in it. So you are going to get your wireless receiver, and again it's the same connectors with the 2 PWM cables on them. But for this to work, you're actually going to need that wireless controller, and it doesn't come in the single pack. So really the single packs are only if you're adding additional fans in, or if you've already got a wireless controller. So you won't be able to use this on its own without the wireless controller. And the other thing missing is that SATA to 3 PWM cable. So if you're short of fan headers on your motherboard, you might want to think about getting that triple pack. And of course you get the 4 screws you need to secure the fan. So I want to talk you through installing Lian Li's L-Connect software. You're going to head over to Lian Li's webpage, download L-Connect, and then go ahead and install it. So whenever you open L-Connect 3, it's going to display your system information. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go to L Wireless Sync Setup. So I've plugged in 2 groups of our Unifans, so I'm going to click on them. And then when we're happy, we're going to click on OK and OK. So we've got our 2 groups of fans. If we want to label them, we can do that in the settings. So we can click on Device and L Wireless Sync, and you'll see I've got a group of 3 and a group of 1 fans. If we need to identify them, we can press this button here, and you'll notice then that our fans are going to light up, indicating that we've got the right group. We can just click and we'll call them the name. So I'm going to call these side fans. So when we're making changes later on, it's going to be easier to identify the correct fans. So the first thing I want to do is show you how to set up our fan profile. So we'll start off on our side fans. You can see at the moment they're reacting to our CPU temperature in the standard fan curve. We've got our current fan speed. So if we want to change this, for example, make them run full speed, we can click here and our fans will ramp up to full speed. I think I'm just going to keep them in the standard profile, and you'll notice the fans will go all the way down to 200 revs per minute. It is possible to enable start stop, and you'll notice that under a certain speed the fans will stop spinning altogether. So I'm going to leave that turned off, and it's also possible to change whether the fans react to our CPU or our GPU temperature. And of course, if you want, you can set up your own custom fan curves, but I'm just going to leave these at the stock ones. If we want to sync up with our motherboard speeds, we can turn it on here. Probably the bit you want to see is the lighting effects. So we'll click on the L Wireless utility and click on OK. So at the moment we've got all our lighting zones set to rainbow. I can change that to a whole variety of different things. So let's try rainbow morph and click apply to all. Or let's try runway and click apply to all. But it is also possible to control our 3 individual lighting zones separately. So let's start off with our central zone, and we'll go for a static color. So all we would need to do is pick the color that we want in the central zone. So let's go for red, and we're just going to paint that into place and click on apply. So you'll notice in the middle our fans have turned to red. So we can go on to our next zone. So we'll click on the zone around the outside, and it's currently set to runway. So we'll change that to a static color as well. So you'll notice now we've got red in the middle, and our outer lighting zone has changed to blue. So if I turn the fans onto the side, you can see that blue lighting zone does extend into the outer area of the infinity mirror, but we've still got the runway effect running in the middle of that infinity mirror, and we can change it as well. So we'll just click, and that is for the middle area, which is currently set to runway. So let's go for a static color. And then we'll click on the color. And say we wanted to set that to white, we could do that. And then we'll click on apply. So you can see the three different areas. We've got white in the middle, blue on the outside, and red. But I think rather than white, red is probably actually going to look better there. And we'll click on apply. I'll just show you some other colors. So I do think those three lighting zones is completely game changing in terms of the effects you're going to be able to get in your build. So a comment I often get is, how are these fans wireless if they need a cable connected to them? The important thing is the control of the fans is completely wireless in terms of the fan speed and the lighting effects, but they do need a cable connected to them to power them. That is unless you get one of the first 6,000 batches of this triple pack of reverse blade fans. If you're lucky enough to get one of these, you will get this battery pack, which truly allows you to use your fans wirelessly. So as well as acting as the battery pack, this is also your wireless receiver. On the top of it, we've got a Type-C port. We've got the same connectors as the cable has, so it's just going to connect onto the fans, and there is a little power button here you can press, and this will turn the display on, although when you connect it, it should power on automatically. So we'll go ahead and connect it up. So obviously this isn't going to be a great solution for powering your fans long term in your PC. The battery already is running down pretty quickly. But I think Lian Li have probably done this as a little bit of a gimmick. They're probably getting sick of people complaining about the fans not being truly wireless, but there you go, the fans are now completely wireless, albeit I would imagine just for a few minutes. But certainly for demo purposes, this could actually be quite useful.